Coal industry will never recover after coronavirus pandemic, experts say.
Here's a summary of the article.
The global coal industry will never recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, industry observers predict, because the crisis has proved renewable energy is cheaper for consumers and a safer bet for investors. A long-term shift away from dirty fossil fuels has accelerated during the lockdown, bringing forward power plant closures in several countries and providing new evidence that humanity's coal use may finally have peaked after more than 200 years. In the EU, imports of coal for thermal power plants plunged by almost two-thirds in recent months to reach lows not seen in 30 years. Despite Donald Trump's campaign pledge to dig coal, there are now more job losses and closures in the industry than at any time since Eisenhower's presidency 60 years ago. Rob Jackson, the chair of Global Carbon Project, said the pandemic was likely to confirm that coal will never again reach the global peak seen in 2013. COVID-19 will slash coal emissions so much this year that the industry will never recover, even with a continued build-out in India and elsewhere. The crash in natural gas prices, record cheap solar and wind power, and climate and health concerns have undercut the industry permanently. In India, the world's second biggest coal consumer, the government has prioritized cheap solar energy rather than coal in response to a slump in electricity demand caused by COVID-19 and a weak economy. A few years ago, Indonesia, Vietnam and the Philippines were expected to be the industry's biggest growth areas, but the pandemic, falling renewable prices and a growing divestment campaign have put several major coal projects on hold.
This post received a score of 77,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Coal plants were being switched over to gas long before the virus.
Animated chart of the day, U.S. electricity generation by fuel source, 1949 to 2019. You can watch coal demise in this animated video.
Very interesting. Honestly, I expected a more drastic shift in the 2000s, considering the rhetoric surrounding these industries.
Existing infrastructure takes decades to change. It'll be the same for electrification for vehicles and battery use for peaker capacity also. The question is, were they recovering before it? I think the answer is still no.
It's been in perpetual decline for over a century. The only places that can use it need a railroad going directly to where it's getting burned.
Here in the UK, last-gen coal generators are being refit to run on renewable biomass. The Drax power plant in North Yorkshire now has a higher biomass output 2.6 GW compared to the remaining coal-fired turbines. They also plan to stop burning coal in 2021 and convert the remaining 2 coal turbines into current-gen gas turbines and excess energy storage units in accordance with the government's plan to ban coal power generation by 2025. The city of Sheffield also recovers a large amount of waste energy at the from garbage, providing electricity and central heating to large parts of the city. Renewables and energy reclamation are the future of the industry.
As someone who works in the energy industry, I'd just like to point out that biomass is a farce, even with CCS. The supply chain destroys forests. It doesn't only use wood chippings, and Drax source their biofuel from an entire other continent. Think of all the pollutants from shipping. Drax are just converting their coal plants to biomass as it's cheaper than building other forms of renewable generation.
Because utilities have all been switching to natural gas. They all understand the liability from coal ash after Duke Power, and no one wants to be the next Duke Power.
Man, those guys, as in Duke Energy the company, sure did a number on Charlotte's water supply. Edit, said this instead those.
There's also a significant cancer cluster on Lake Norman because of it.
As someone from the area, here's a news article on it. To top it off, something like a decade ago this coal ash was being used as filler in construction projects all over the area, with no record of where it went or was used. I really hope we can get something conclusive out of this, but I'm not gonna hold my breath because we aren't getting it anytime soon. Edit, and here's some info on the coal ash being sold and used as filler.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.